All right, this is the Burgers Kids Coding Academy. Yes, we are back again, and my name is Ayomi Posse. We have been together for some times now. Showing you different things on Scratch. So yes. So we are going again today. So today we're gonna finalize busting the balloon. Yes, we're gonna finalize that today. Yes. We must. We must. Okay. Without wasting much of our time, where do we stop? Let me check. Okay, so we have the balloon already. We have the compass to bust the balloon. I'm busting different balloons. My God. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. So that's for that. So this is where we are. So the next thing now is to create a score. Okay, we should have a score. We cannot be playing and button and button, but because this is a game. Okay, this is a game. We have to have a score. Okay, I bust 5 balloon, I bust 10 balloon, I bust. So to store this value, because the value is going to be changing. Are we together? The value of the score or the bust is going to be changing, and that's why we're going to be storing it into what we call variable. Okay, a variable stores changing values. Okay, value that can change, so it's a storage location. Okay, that stores a changing value, as the program or as the game run. All right, so we're going to variable under the block palette. We're going to variables. You click on variables, and we say make a variable. So I'm going to make a variable called score. Yeah, score. Okay, so I'm going to be for all sprites, so that I can code on different sprites, to make reference to this variable. Okay, but if I make it only for this sprite, that means everything about this score will be only on this sprite, and that might not be what we want to do. Okay, so we're gonna be making it for all sprite. Okay, now we have the score now, displayed, because I've checked, because it is checked. So if I uncheck it, it will not show. If I check it, it will show. So I have score. So how do we score? How do we score? The moment I bust a balloon, the moment I click on a balloon, I have score. So that means that at this point, can you see my arrow pointer? At this point, if touching sprite 2, if mouse down, then I have a score, right? If touching sprite 2, if mouse down, the condition here, right? We have talked about this earlier. Okay, we bust the balloon by what? Touching and clicking on the balloon. Okay, so now if touching the balloon, that's sprite 2. Don't forget, this is the balloon. If touching sprite 2, this is sprite 2. If the balloon is touching sprite 2, and if mouse down, then delete this clone. So this time around, we're going to say change score. Change score. Before it deletes it, you should change score by 1. That is, you should increase it by 1. You're going to change this by 1. So if you so that means that if you have 1 before, it's going to make it 2. If you have 2 before, it's going to make it 3. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, I'm playing the balloon right now. Okay, can you see that? I have score already. Can you see, as I'm clicking on the balloon, it's giving me scores. It's giving me scores. Can you see that? It's increasing. It's changing by 1. Changing by 1. Changing by 1. Changing by 1. Can you see that? Can you see that? Okay. Alright, so that's for that. So now when the player is playing, it's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. Oh, I have 12 balloon. I have 6 balloon. I have, Then one last thing to add is kind of a game over system. Okay, because we cannot be playing games. So we can have it that if touching edge, it should reduce a value. We're going to set a value. That's also another variable that will be reducing if we could not bust the balloon. Can you see that? So if I am unable to bust any balloon and it touches the edge, that is the top, I lose a score. And the moment the score gets to 0, the game ends. Or we might say, if touching the edge, you should minus from the score. Different style. but we're going to use that one, the other one. So if touching edge, it should what? It should reduce a value. That is game over value. Make another variable. We're going to make another variable. Let's call it, we are going to call it live. We're going to have a live. So if the live, so now we're going to set live. Set live. We're going to set live under here, not under when I start as a clone. Okay, because if you set the live under when I start as a clone, that means for every clone it will be setting back to 20. It will be setting back to 20, setting back for every clone. So but when I start when Griffard is set live, so let's have 20. So that means if 20 balloon escape, game is over. So if touching edge, change live by -1. That means it's going to be removing 1 by -1. So let's see now. Okay, can you see the life is reducing already? Okay, I'm trying not to. Okay, I think I'm too smart. Oh, I'm still kind of losing. Okay. Oh my god, I'm losing balloons already. I'm losing. Oh my god, I have 12 life remaining. I have to get enough. My god, I have 9 life left. Oh my god, just 3 lives. I have just 50 balloons. How many? Oh my god, 2 lives. Oh my god, just one balloon. Gonna get here. I must get to 100. I think I'm trying. 0. The game still continues. The game didn't end. I think it's because I didn't give any instruction. I didn't give any instruction. So I said if touching the edge, change live by -1. But then when it gets to 0, I didn't give any instruction. So I'm going to set another variable now. Set another condition. I'm going to set another condition very quickly. If life is equal to 0, so that means I need an operator. This equal to operator. If live, let me go to sensing. Let me go to score rather. If live, the variable if live is equal to 0, it's gonna stop. That's under control. It's gonna stop all. So let's go. Let's see. So I'm not gonna play it so that we won't have to waste much of our time. This code did not start from. Okay, I have not said. Can you see that this code did not start from 0? The reason is because I did not set score. I did not set score to 0. Set score to 0. So now let's start again. Can you see that? So now I'm not going to reduce. To play it so that I want it to reduce. Like I want the game to be equal to 0 so that we'll see what will happen. So let's see if the game will continue after this. Oh, stop. The game has stopped. Can you see that? So that's for that. So one last thing is that we are going to implement game over. Okay, we're going to sprites. Let me use paint. I'm going to type game over. I want it to display game over after I stopped. So I'm going to use this. Game over. game over. I'm just going to increase this. I'm gonna increase this to make it big because I want it to be showing very well. Okay, so let's go back to code. So when the game starts, it's gonna be hiding. When the game starts, when the green flag is clicked, I'm gonna have under looks. It's gonna be hiding. Hide. Gonna be hiding. Our time is very fast spent. I am actually wanting this class to be more than 10 minutes. So very quickly go back to balloon. I'm going to send a broadcast on that event. We have the broadcast on that event. Broadcast. I'm going to name it. I'm going to put the broadcast here before it stops. So I'm going to name it game over. Game over. Okay, I'm going to name it game over. Okay, so after that, so I'm going back to sprite 3 and say when I receive game over, then it should what? Then it should show. When I give it game over, it should show. Show. Okay, so let's see now. Let's see what will happen. So as usual, I will not play it so that I can so that you will see the game over. Once it gets to 0, it's gonna show game over. Game over. It's gonna show game over now. Yes, game over. Can you see that? So thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Please. Okay, should I kneel down? I'm leaning down. I'm leaning down. Subscribe. Like our post, like and share, comment. If you want another game from us, please comment. We have done a wonderful game, right? If you like what we are doing, subscribe, share, tell your friends to come and learn. Tell your friends to come and learn. We're learning here, and we're gonna break it down very simple for you. Thank you for watching.